right, guys, what's going on? How you guys doing this evening? This is Terry with NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast, Raw and Uncut. And today, guys, we are down south in a little town called Mission, Texas. Hey, you guys give a great shout out for Ghost Hunters of South Texas. Mr. David and Mr. Michelle and Miss Michelle. I almost call you Mr.
Hey,
Hey, how
everybody
you
kept trying to change my name to Michael.
how you guys doing this evening?
Doing all right.
Good.
Thank you.
That's cool. That's cool. Tell me, man, what's going on with you guys?
Oh, not too much today. Just we had her daughter was here staying with us for about a week over the July 4th holiday, and then we got that snafu with the plane flights and everything, and she didn't get to leave on time, which is why we had to reschedule our last get together. And
Okay.
other than that, it's been a good week. Enjoyed the fireworks, and well, what you could say passes for fireworks down here.
All right. Hey, let's jump right in it, man.
All righty.
Ghost Hunters of South Texas. Man, tell me a little bit about your team, what you guys are able to accomplish, what you want to accomplish. Just tell me all the good stuff about you guys.
Okay, well, we didn't actually become part of Ghost Hunters of South Texas until we met the original creator of the group.
Mm-hmm.
09?
Yeah, it was 2009. Did Tim contact you first for me? I don't know.
You contacted him
That's
through
right.
chat.
Yeah, I contacted.
I don't even remember
I
how.
contacted Tim Krantz, who was the original leader of Ghost Hunters, and then he came over to interview me and Michelle to see if we're interested. And then at first it was just us three,
Mm-hmm.
and then we added a couple of other team members came and went, but it was for the most part it was always us as the base of the team. But he had some connections with a group from
Waco.
called Central Texas Paranormal, and so he had been working in paranormal for a little while. He'd already got a full set of cameras. He had the full wireless camera set up, and whereas me, I like to go light on stuff like that. I will use some wired cameras if I get a chance, but I prefer to use handhelds.
There you go.
With, night shot capable, get some extended batteries, or run power generators to, if you're in a place that hasn't got no power. And it's pretty much what we use and still use, because you can walk into a pawn shop now and get that camera for like $50.
Yeah.
Some of them are almost like new. Actually, I got this one at a Goodwill. It was still in the box.
Oh, that's a good one from Goodwill?
Yeah, it's brand new. It had one tape that filmed maybe 2 minutes worth of stuff on it at the beginning, and it never got used again.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
no scratches on it. I knew it was going to be hit or miss. I don't put a battery in there. It's either going to work or not. So, but
Right.
it worked. And, with extended battery, I get 500 minutes worth of record time. So for most investigations you're going to be doing, unless you're going to be there overnight for a long period of time, we'll run a power in from our truck, or run these little battery booster boxes you can get. They also have outlets and provide like 6 hours of power. Unless something drains your power, you're not going to have any problems. So.
Yeah, right. And that happens a lot.
And that's what I recommend to people. So when we started, he did get all the bells and whistles. So we would set up a lot of cameras.
Uh-huh.
And as far as the other gear, handheld little digital cameras, I like to use a Polaroid camera every now and then and take some pictures while we're doing the initial walk around during the day. Because sometimes something about the film on a Polaroid, you can get actual aura images on there that could indicate you got some kind of activity there. So it's making a comeback, like that Portals to Hell. He used one. Mr. Osborne does. And I said, well, wow, people are using those again. So it's like, because he filmed this lady and she had these blue streaks going around her. And it's like, that wasn't the Flash. That was some kind of...
that was something else.
Yeah.
Dude.
Not saying it was paranormal, but it definitely is interesting. So, and now they're available now. You go to Walmart and you got all these little Fuji cameras and stuff that are like $60. I recommend that ghost hunters starting out get that, and just, when they're doing their initial walk around, use it. And when you're doing your sweeps for EVP or EMF and other stuff and other influences that you might have in an area, and just take some
Right.
pictures and see what you get.
Well,
Um,
okay, cool, guys. I mean,
Which-
hey, it's cool to bring back the classics. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
yeah, and the
It's
cameras
been,
are cheap, and they're remaking these batteries are being remanufactured, so you can still get batteries for them.
yeah,
As long as you charge them and discharge them, they last for 3 or 4 years.
and they work.
And it's mini DV, so you just got to plug it into your computer and then just download your files to your computer and then,
Reuse
edit them
it.
that way. So it's a
Well,
little bit more
hey,
work, but
yeah, you
nowadays
can't get no
everyone's so
simpler than that. I mean, it's simple,
these
man.
people are also tech savvy.
I'll tell you what. I had a camera, man. I could not figure out. I like, what the hell is this, man? I mean, it was too many gadgets and
Too many bells
everything.
and whistles. You don't need all that.
No, you're right. I really didn't, man. I'm like, what the hell is this, man? So I'm like, what am I gonna do? So I sent it off to my camera guy. My camera guy, 30 years younger than me. He's like, Terry, this is so easy, man. Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, dude,
Okay, we already fixed it for you, right?
yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
Fortunately, because my background when I was in the military, I was an electronics technician.
uh-huh.
Started working a lot with computers right before they really started becoming the home computer was a big thing. So I've been following the internet ever since '88 when I got my first Radio Shack computer, and just been following that whole train along now. But I still like to go back a little bit and keep things simple because you don't need a lot of excessive technology for starting out in the paranormal. You watch these guys on the show and they got simple gear. I mean, okay, so those guys from Portals use one of those Echo boxes, the big old,
Yeah,
it's got fancy lights and everything in there. You don't need that. Just get a PSBX7 Spirit box. It's about $60.
yeah.
Get yourself a little a connectable external speaker. That's what we've used on every one of the investigations we did, and they work. If there's some entity there that's going to say something, they will talk to that thing.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like if you run it at your house, you're not going to get anything except maybe an occasional radio garble or something like that. But when the thing works, you will know it. There's no mistaking it.
All right, guy. Hey, tell me a little bit about South Texas, man. How active is South Texas around the Mission area? What exactly is going on down there that keep you guys so busy?
Well, I'll be honest. I wish we were as busy down here as we were up in Indiana. But the thing about Indiana, the Indiana Ghost Trackers were statewide. They had chapters all over the state. So we went to asylums. We went to more historical places. One of them was the oldest house in Indiana. That place had some, yeah. But down here in South Texas, and we're talking as far south just about as you can get in the United States. The crow flies about 5 minutes from the border from our house here.
Wow.
There's plenty of haunted stuff down here. People don't know that. Port Isabel is a Civil War haunting. Most people don't know that. The actual last battle of the Civil War was the Battle of Palmito Ranch, was fought about just 12 kilometers from the city. So when we went there, we were going to because people have reported seeing in Port Isabel people walking around in Confederate uniforms.
Oh, really?
With
wow.
bullet holes in them. Their faces fuzzy. They couldn't see their face, and then they would disappear. The lighthouse there had been several battles between the Confederates and the Navy Marines because the Navy wanted to destroy it because Mexico was running guns, to Texas, across from the right up the coast there, and they'd use the lighthouse to flash them if the coast was clear to come and deliver the guns. But then they just started bringing them up to the river and crossing them that way too because that's quicker, and they couldn't cover all the river to stop these little shipments from coming across. But there were 2 heated battles there where dozens of men were killed. My best EVP I ever caught was in that lighthouse. Me and her and a couple of other people from because we were with Central Texas Paranormal.
That's when
so
we
had
there for a week.
There were like 40
Or
people
4
down
days.
there, and we were
4
spread
days.
up over the Central Texas Paranormal is a huge, or used to be anyway, a very large group. We've always been 5-6 people at the max, and it comes and goes. People leave. So now, once Tim left, the actual base members are just me and her. And in most investigations, that's all we need. I got other friends also interested, and if they want to come, hey, sure, come along, man. Your friend wants to come and get started and see if this is for him. Because I'm gonna tell people it's not for everybody. You know, some people go ghost hunting the first time. They take a Ouija board with them, which I don't recommend that. That's the worst thing you can do. If you want to invite the devil himself, that's the best way to do it. And and they get the crap scared out of them, and they're like, oh, "Shit, I'm out of this. I'm not gonna do it no more. I'm staying away." Well, it's the mentality. People in a situation like that's going to respond usually in one or two ways. They're going to be curious. They're going to be like, they're going to see something, and the other people are going to be like, and you see them on TV. They're doing that. They hear a little sound like a thump, and they're like crapping themselves. Man, it's like you're in the wrong business. Get out. Don't do it.
Well, hey, are you guys able to see the comments?
I have to click on them. Yeah, well, because they have to be set here. Okay, comments are on.
No, I didn't.
Oh boy, I see them. Yeah, I see them now. I see your podcast. Hello, David and Michelle. This is a great team. Oh, it's Humberto.
That's Bert.
Hey, it's Bert. Yeah, he's one who remembers. He's the only one so far, and let's see, who's that down there? Jerry Suarez.
Have you all used?
Have you ever used any applications from your phone? Example, GhostTube, Dice. I'll tell you what.
What's the one you were using?
The thing about a lot of these apps, for me, I turn my phone off.
Okay.
Because it's a source. It can be a source of interference, which, I would rather eliminate it. I tell people, it's a little difficult for the next couple of hours. Leave your phone out in your vehicle or somewhere in a central area. If you get an important message, you can check it. We know in that room there's going to be signals because those devices are there. But we know it's not going to be wandering around some other, if it's a completely, non-inhabited location. It's in some old building or some old historical area. That's the first thing you want to rule out when you do your EMF sweep is what kind of interference do I already have that's going to, that's going to start making your devices go off when you don't want them to. And so that's what we do. But you don't really need a lot to get started. As far as apps, so many more come out every day. The first one we really used was Ghost Radar. I don't know if you remember that, if you've ever seen Ghost Radar, which is
I've never.
It's for Google and the I have it on my original iPad still, the first generation. I got one of those 64-bit when they first came out, and I still use it. It still works. I can go on the internet with it. So it's like, but those apps work. Again, some people say they don't trust it, that it's all fake, that it's just getting this little. I think it's just detecting little impulses. So it can kind of be used as a tool. The voices that it said, the voice generator, I don't know. I prefer to use a spirit box.
Spirit box, cool.
Not an app. I mean, you can use some apps. I've seen a couple like what's that one I had over there?
I keep coming up with Oculus.
Okay, Oculus. That's okay. I'll take that back. That is. I don't know if you ever remember those devices they had. There was a handheld. It's called the Oculus. The Ghost Adventures guys used it. It had a word generator built into it, and it would say out words. Well, the guy who built a digital dowsing made an app for that, and it's only out for Apple. Now, I have that on my iPhone, old iPhone 4 I got, and all my other iDevices. I have that on there. That does work. You try to run it at your house, it just never says anything. But you go somewhere, there's something going on, and that thing becomes a chit-chat. It starts telling you. Now, you still got to go through and try to see what historic significance these words will give you. But it can lead you to information, somebody's name. Again, the first time people get exposed to that, the first time they record an EVP, it probably make the hairs on the back of their neck stand up, but you realize, holy, this stuff is real. I just caught something. But for me, like I said, that lighthouse at Port Isabel, there was a big battle fought there. Sorry, I don't mean to put my thumb in your face. And just bite me if I do that. It was a big fight there. A bunch of Northern troops got killed. Confederates died. We were in there setting up. We're putting cameras, looking up the stairway going up, and one at the top looking around where the actual lighthouse construction was. And I was making some joke about I don't remember what it was I said, something about whistling Dixie. And then she
Uh-oh.
goes, we didn't hear nothing. All my cameras were rolling. All my cameras caught it, and my handheld Olympus recorder caught it. As soon as I said, and I'm kind of saying it kind of looks, so I'm telling her, well, and I'm kind of mumbling, but she heard what I said because we were back a little bit. And you hear this deep southern drawl voice saying, you don't want to be going down there, boy, with the echo in the lighthouse.
What?
You heard the echo. Now, I didn't hear it. She didn't hear it, and neither did Yezi here. She was sitting at the table watching setting up the little monitor screen for what other stuff that we were setting up. Didn't hear nothing. Went through the lighthouse at night and just asked questions and I felt some cold spots. I thought I did, but it was already getting a little cool anyway, so it's kind of hard because heat stays inside a building, comes up through the concrete at night, and you can think you feel these cold spots, even though your thermometer might show a little fluctuation. But now you get a cold spot where you can start seeing your breath or something. Okay, I don't think you're going to question you found a cold spot, but when you grab a door and it feels cold as a refrigerator. I've had that happen, and that the first time you feel something like that, you'll be like, I tell people, be prepared for the unexpected because you don't know what's going to happen. Some people are in it just for cheap thrills, and usually they don't last long and they quit after a while. I think for us, what has really helped is that we were just trying to find out the truth. What is it to the supernatural? And all the EVPs that I've captured, and I've caught, I have about 6 CDs worth out of all the ones, just from being with, right before I left the Indiana Ghost Trackers, and then I started working with Tim down here. He found us a lot of gigs because it is so superstitious down here. There's a lot of Hispanic people down here, and superstition is horrible. We've had people call us about their house. They've seen shadows in their house. They hear something that they want to know, we can go check it out. And then their grandma will come and say, honey, don't do that. If you do that, you're going to bring more spirits here. They're never going to leave this. And then they back out. So, it's hard down here. This is not a good place to set up shop for doing that. But there are haunted places here you can go and check out. There was an old insane asylum that used to be used by the Catholic Church. It's still, the building burned down, but the foundation of it is still out there. And me, Michelle, and that other friend of ours who was in the Marine Corps who was helping us out for a while.
Dave.
Dave. Yeah, he was getting ready to go back to active duty, but he went out there with us. We set up some cameras. We caught this green flowing light that was it was moving. It wasn't. It was not photoluminescence from an insect. The camera, you could see it real clear. It was just moving like a little ball of greenish plasma. It went into a stone, it would disappear. It'd come out the top a few seconds later, and it just moved around, and it was moving, going through walls and coming out. And it was like, okay, that wasn't I said, does everyone agree that's not an insect? Yeah. Okay. I've never seen anything like that. So, okay, is that normal or is that paranormal? And
no, not Dave. Joe.
Oh, Joe. That's right.
His name was Joe.
Joe Hernandez. That was his name.
Yeah.
So you're going to find stuff. Some people may hit the jackpot right away. For me, I seem to attract EVPs. I don't know why. I don't really ever hear them myself, but I get answered.
Okay.
For example, Old City Cemetery in Brownsville. The first traffic accident here in South Texas was a little girl named Daisy Taylor, if I remember her last name. Yeah, was run over by a horse and carriage. She was the first accident there. And we were doing a big tour of the cemetery there because we were going to do a Halloween thing that night, along with another the house over there. What's the name of it?
Stillman.
The Stillman house. We were also going to go and do an investigation in the Stillman house, and there were going to be people coming through. So it was kind of a tour. It's the kind of thing you want to get involved with, organize it early enough.
Yeah, it was like 80 people total.
Yeah, it was something. There was a lot of people.
There was a lot of people.
That cemetery during Hurricane Beulah back in the late 60s, it had the Resaca overflowed, and half the bodies in the back were washed out of their graves. There were just remains laying everywhere. It was a mess for them to straighten that out and try to put bodies back. How do you know this guy's remains, that this is John Clement and this is Michael Fuentes or whoever? You don't. You might be able to tell if it's male or female by looking at the skeletal structure, but
it's a lot of DNA testing.
Well, and here's a fact: every cemetery is haunted. I will tell you that right now. Every one of them. You will not go to one and not capture EVPs.
Okay.
Any
So
time of day.
if you
too.
want to find out for sure, go to a cemetery at night where it's not illegal to go out there. Take a little EVP recorder with you because you know you're the only one out there. And any voices that you record that aren't you, well, where are they coming from? Is it radio interference?
Yeah, right.
Some of these people saying, "Oh, that's just a radio interfering through your recorder." I said, "Yeah, calling me by name, telling me something." Okay, I know some astronomical odds like winning the lottery or something, but what are the odds for that? Okay,
Hey,
but if it makes them sleep good at night, that's fine.
that's fine. I mean, I'm down with it. Hey, what would you say to people? For people that wants to start, that want to start their own team, and want to, be an amateur paranormal investigator who really
Get their
don't
feet
have
wet. Get their
anything
feet
under
wet
their
and get
belt.
started. I'll tell you what. You go to a pawn shop, all over. Depends on where you're at. Look for at least one or two of these Sony camcorders. It can be mini DV, mini DVD. You can still buy them at Walmart. You can still get the mini DVDs and DV tapes for this. You can get them online, a 10-pack, fairly cheap. The rewritable mini DVDs are better because you can just keep rewriting them. It's
Right.
basically like a little hard drive. And they all have the same night vision. If they've got super night vision plus, that's good because it throws out even more sensitivity to infrared light. And get a decent battery. Like I said, $20 you could buy one of these extended battery packs. That's 400 minutes. So if you're going to some place, you're going to be there an hour or 2 hours. Selectively use your tape for certain areas, and you don't need one or two cameras. Or you can buy the ones that got hard drives in them. I got a couple of those that good for about 6 hours. One of those is good enough for. And I've added a Sony super amplified night light on there, which is purely infrared. So and I had an extendable battery. It was good for about 5 or 6 hours. Or run power extensions from a little power generator, like you used to start cars with. That'll give you 6 hours of power.
Right.
I use it to power my telescope when I'm outside taking astrophotos because I can't get to a plug. So I fully charge it and it'll run my scope for like 5 hours, running my scopes, motors, and my computer and everything while I take the picture. So they work. And what do we pay for that one? Like $140?
Give or take.
Yeah, you can get them at Home Depot, Lowe's. Buy one or two of them. I mean, keep one in your car because they're real handy to have. I don't know how many of my friends have called me. "Hey, man, my truck's stuck up over here. You still got that battery jumper box?" I say, "Yeah, man, I'll be out there in a few minutes." And I go and I jump this vehicle.
Cool.
But I bought it for the telescope originally, and now we just discovered we can also use it when we go out to do.
Or charging phones when
Oh,
hell freezes over.
Oh, yeah. 7 Days of Darkness or whatever,
No,
But
last February.
oh yeah, the Shackleton winter we had down here.
Oh yeah.
Good old Texas power grid. But go easy. You find a deal somewhere, you get it. Go online. Look for the Little Olympus digital recorders. They keep making new ones every year, but you can pick those up at pawn shops that people have gotten rid of. There's nothing wrong with them. Like the guys in the Ghost Adventures were using that same model of the AS6, I think it was, that Little Olympus, the same one. They use that for like 6 seasons. It works. Analog cassette recorders. I like to use those too. Full-size tape or the mini cassettes. Just make sure you use an external mic if you can, and you can still get those for like $2 on Amazon.
Right.
Plug the external mic, and there you go. But go slow. Don't rush out there. Don't try to think you're all of a sudden going to be, the ghost hunters all of a sudden. Take baby steps. Get into it. It is possible the first place they go, there's going to be very negative energy there, and they could have a very bad experience. I mean, that's always a risk you take. I mean, you're technically swimming into deep water a little bit, so you better be able to swim because otherwise, someone's gonna have
There you go. Get your life jacket or something.
I mean, I'll be honest. Even if you're not the kind who's get scared easy, you're gonna get startled.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna get surprised and you're gonna get startled and just But after a couple of times of that, you're like you can kind of roll with it a little bit. Short of all of a sudden a full apparition appearing in front of you, looking at you like something out of the Supernatural show or something. Okay, that for some people that might be enough and they'll be out the door, But I haven't had that happen to me yet. I've seen shadow people, but that's about it. Well, one time, but um, and Michelle too. I mean, she's go out there. She's taking pictures or sitting in the dark, snapping pictures. And then I took a picture to a corner room, and this huge black spot was right there. I mean, it was just the flash lit everything up, but the shape around probably about the volume of where a person would be was just right there. So it's like, was that a glitch with the camera? I don't know. They all thought it was a shadow mass of some kind, but
Wow. Now, how hard is it for you guys to find members? Are members calling, or are members reaching out to you guys?
we always say that we're willing to take people on. I got no problem. I mean, like I said, Bert's worked with us. Um he's been a good investigator. He's working with some other guys now too, but there's a lot of groups starting down here. Some guys we used to work with after goes with Spirit. What was that? South Texas Paranormal Investigations and Research Team, Research Investigation Team. Yeah, you can change the moniker whatever you want. But well, Tim had Ghost Hunters of South Texas, so we just kept that. I mean, that's what we worked with.
Right.
I mean, I also had the STX Paranormal group, which is actually just like my Facebook logo through there, but I still have the ghost connected to it. And hold on, we're getting some more stuff here.
The newest is on the bottom. Scroll up.
Okay, the news are on the bottom.
Yes.
Okay, so they're so small here, and I've got to kind of look in a little bit. But I think someone's asking a question.
So, something like that. Yes. Okay.
Oh, somebody's
Yeah.
saying, hey, I agree with the phone off.
What are you doing?
Just asking about some applications. Again, apps. I don't know. I there's a lot of them that are free. There's a lot of them that are crap. I'm just going to tell you out right now because you never know what you're going to get with some of these apps. And I'll try them. If they work, they work. If there's something that you don't like or just doesn't appeal to you, get rid of it. But like I said, the one for the Apple. Which one was that?
Oculus.
Oh, the Oculus. That works. So if you have an old iPhone, or if anything, go get an old iPhone 4 from a pawn shop or an old iPhone 6. Download the Oculus app on there. Or if you still have an iPad 2, you can still get it on there. It works. I've never had a physical Oculus to actually compare them to, but what some of the people have written about it, that it is effective.
Okay, cool.
Again, I like spirit boxes myself, so I will use an actual physical. I have a Radio Shack hack that I made myself. I took that old Radio Shack and clipped the resistor pin inside. They had a video on YouTube that showed you how to do it. I made 2 of those, and those are primarily what I use until I got the PSB7, which and now they got the PSB11, which is the newer one that you see on Ghost Adventures using. It's a bit newer. But they'll all work. I've used that at about 20 places, and I've always managed to catch a couple of things out of that. So,
okay, cool. I mean, hey, you gotta go what makes you. You gotta go what makes you successful. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, what works?
Whatever works, man. And I definitely agree with you on that. I'm an old school guy, and I believe, I'll tell you what. When I first got in this, man, David, I went in head first. I mean, head first.
Head hitting the wall, man.
And you know what, dude? And I came to realize, I'm like, dude, I don't need all this equipment. Dude, I had like 8 cameras. God damn, dude.
You just wanted to make sure you were ready, and that's fine. I mean, you'll have a use for those cameras, in the future. So it's not money spent for something bad.
Well,
I mean,
no,
cameras.
it's just that hell, man. I think out of those 8 days, I probably maybe used 3 of those because I came to realize I'm like, hey, man, I don't have enough hands to do what I need to do.
That's why you need to get about 4 of the. You need to get 4 or 5 people, and then get them man with them cameras and station them out.
So that's what I decided to do. I went and got 2 camera techs and 2 more
rookies.
People out there to investigate with me. And my hands are free. These guys can follow me with the camera, and I see these guys using the same camera every time we go out. So basically, those other shit, 6 cameras are just basically sitting at the house.
You know
You know
what
what
I found out, since I could get a cameraman, but I went and got me a GoPro with a headband
I'm
that
saying?
sits right there, so wherever you're looking, it's seeing. And I said that is kind of nifty. Well, me and my friend got it for we're trying to set up a little fishing and sportsman, channel here about going fishing and stuff like that. So he picked up that GoPro, but I put it on and walked around and tested it with the little. It was a light that I modified for my. It had a little LED light on it that I use for my telescope. So I just
Mm-hmm.
took the straps off it and put it on the GoPro because they don't give you one when you buy it. It's just got this deal to mount it on a hard hat or some other. But to fit it on the head strap, you'd have to take it out and put it
Yeah.
inside the little loops yourself. But it worked, and I'm seeing a lot of those because that way you always got video going that doesn't show you in it. That's watching everything that's going on. Like she can be filming with a camera, and then you can just edit everything together because you're gonna have plenty of footage to look at. Now those
Yeah.
GoPros don't see in the dark, but I always have a flashlight with me. I don't want to crash
Yeah.
into something. You get over 50, you don't want to fall into you bust some bones. It becomes a little bit more of a concern,
Right.
And
Uh,
no,
I went and bought 4 of those. So think about all the cameras that I have now. I got 8, 4 GoPros. I only use once in an investigation. So now I'm up to 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 12 audio, video equipment, which I don't really need. You know what I'm saying?
now
So
they're night vision cameras, right?
which ones?
They're infrared sensitive.
Yeah.
Not the GoPros, the other cameras you got.
Yes.
See, what I tell people now. Here's the thing about cameras. Now I don't know. Some people call it one thing. Some people call it others. You're gonna film a lot of stuff, especially if that camera's static and it's gonna sit there for 4 hours.
Mhm.
You're gonna see dust. You see insects, but every now and then you're gonna see something that doesn't fall into those categories. If it's really a
Right.
haunted location, you're gonna get a light anomaly, and that's what I call it. I've watched a lot of these shows where these guys missed them. Um, let's see, what's that other one we were watching? The German guy when a hard drive crashed, erased them all. It's about this older German paranormal investigator.
Hmm.
Uh, his daughter, the Holter Files. That's it, Holter Files.
The Halter Files.
The Holter Files. It was on Travel Channel. It comes on and off. They do some really good investigations, and I like how Holzer was doing the old-fashioned stuff, like photographic cameras triggered the doors. If a door moved, the photographic camera would. He was recording on reel-to-reel. The first true EVP was this huge reel-to-reel tape machine and a microphone that he took with him, and he captured EVPs.
Oh wow.
It like the other guy that was in those movies, based on a real character that used to work. He was a Catholic. He worked for the Catholic Church.
Hmm.
He was also recording a lot of EVPs and. What's the name of that movie series? Not The Haunting. I keep forgetting his name, but he's the first only non-Catholic trained exorcist priest that the church allowed to do an exorcism because he was
Really?
working with the Catholic Church for many years. They call him the father of EVP because I think technically he was even doing it before Holzer did, but still it was around the same time. But yeah, EVP, little handheld recorder, EMF detector. I'm going to tell people a little bit about that because I recommend getting them. Just, of course, if everyone's walking around with their walkie-talkies and stuff like that, that's going to set your stuff off.
Oh
So,
yeah, definitely.
I tell walkie-talkies for emergency transmissions only. Don't just be clicking them. Some people click them to set off the K2s and stuff like that, which, okay, whether they do or don't, I don't know. But it always seemed that all these shows that would come on and they would instantly get them. Now, the flashlight coming on and off, that little trick, that's a little harder to pull off. But I think that's probably more indicative that something is actually going on. But just the K2 tripping.
The motion balls.
The REM pods.
Yeah.
I believe that is a good, effective tool for using in paranormal investigations.
I think anything that's motion detected is good.
Yeah.
That's I really do. I'm working on some things right now to hopefully, because right now I'm not too happy with what they got out as far as motion detection. I mean, the ball is good. I mean, I have this.
There you go. That's another one. I was trying to remember where I'd seen the. It's a device similar to that. Sometimes it's a square, some are a ball. But yes, that's as good as a REM pod right there. Why
Yeah.
spend the money on a REM pod for like what, $200? However they run, how much they run now,
Oh yeah.
or the Scare Bear, which is cool, But I'd rather go spend the money on a good millimeter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
Millimeters are. I don't have one yet, and I've been meaning to get one because I'm still sticking with. Well, there's devices you can get now that are pretty affordable. The and here's one of them I'm going to show you. It's the GQ EMF.
To the camera.
okay.
Now, what this thing does is it's a tri-field meter. It's going to read your electrical energy, your magnetic energy, and it has a little printout telling you, okay, is it Wi-Fi creeping around here? It'll detect Wi-Fi. It'll detect cellular telephone. You'll see it tell you, okay, someone around here is using a phone. Now, just the magnetic field by itself, though, when that starts to change and fluctuate, and you're not seeing any electrical voltages that are the man-made, and you're not picking up cellular telephone communications, or you don't see Wi-Fi or anything or Bluetooth, and it's just a magnetic field fluctuating, then you got something you really need to check for. I mean, as far as walking around the house, I turn this thing on now. My T-Mobile over there, it's going to show
Right.
Wi-Fi, and it's going to stay on there. It's not going to leave the screen. Let me see if I can get it on here. It's a pretty bright screen. It's got a built-in battery that you have to charge. I don't like that I can't replace the battery, but it's a big old giant battery. And okay, let me get it up here to see if you can see the screen.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that.
It's a tri-field meter, and there it's better. You can actually read it a little better there. It's showing up top is your volts. That's electrical frequency from man-made gear, wire, anything that could be from electrical sources in the house. On the bottom left, that is your radio frequency. That's your cell phones. That's people talking on a walkie-talkie. That's things that you could possibly be causing yourself. And then the one on the right, see, that's micro Tesla. That's your magnetic field, your EMF field. Now, right below it, it's saying Wi-Fi, and it's detecting phones, because both me and our phones are right here, and it's and the computer's on, and plus our Wi-Fi router is right behind the TV over here. So there's a little graph at the bottom that's printing out, and when you get a spike in that little line down there, it'll also say right underneath the numbers. It's not moving much now, but if there would be a spike, it would also say down there what it is. It also would say Wi-Fi or phone. So it takes the guesswork out, and
Wow.
these are about $100 on Amazon.
Oh, that's not bad.
Sometimes you can get them for less. The fear of 5G people were out there preaching, you need to buy this when you drive around. So when they're frying your brain with the 5G towers when you buy. I said, heck with that. I'm going to use this for investigation. And it changed, and it flips. It's got, if you turn it this way, it'll flip to up-down mode.
Right.
And then you can see the little meter at the bottom there. See, it's saying mixed.
Right.
So the signals are mixed. There's Wi-Fi. There's but when that goes out completely and you start to see that EMF field go crazy, then okay, this could be spooky. So this you can also set it up so the light just stays on all the time. But as soon as you move it and the accelerometer moves, it'll turn the light on. So if you're out there walking around in the dark, I'm telling people that's but there are other homegrown varieties like this. Is a good old ghost meter.
Yeah.
It will give you the magnetic reading, but it's very sensitive to cellular communications and walkie-talkies. And it's got the little dial there just goes up and down, depending on what it's picking up. And when it passes the yellow area, it starts to beep red. So if you're in total darkness, the green light still lights up the meter a little bit. So in total darkness, you can see it. I think $20.
Okay.
And then you got one more that I think people. This one is selling for $9. I've seen it on Amazon. Just do electromagnetic radiation meter cluster, and it is electromagnetic radiation. A lot of people get fooled because they're trying to buy a Geiger counter, or a regular rate, and then they see this. Hey, look, I can get that's $9. I'm taking it. I can't pick up anything. And where's the counts per minute, dude? It's reading electromagnetic radiation.
Exactly.
And it's not as fancy as the tri-fuel meter, but again, for less than $20, and it has a light. You hold on the light comes on, and you will see the magnetic field detection will change. And if all of a sudden you walk into an electric field, this is going to start to beep, and it'll tell you, and you'll see it flashing up there. Oh, I'm passing, and look up. Sure enough, ROMX cable, or there's a power distribution box somewhere. That's the hardest part about this, is weeding out what we're not causing.
Exactly.
But you go into some old place that hasn't had electricity for years. There's no power there. There's no Wi-Fi. Only your phones that you take in there and your equipment's the only thing that's going to have any electrical field that could change what you're reading. So
yeah, that is crazy. Speaking of, man, what do you guys like to do down there? I mean, do you have a certain place you like to investigate? Cemeteries, urban?
We've been to a few cemeteries, but for me, it's Port Isabel's down there.
Port Isabel, yeah.
And they have there's a monument to the battlefield over there,
Mm-hmm.
where the Battle of Palmito Ranch happened. It's just a little plate on the ground. You got to walk out there to find it. Now, there's a Texas state marker by the road, but you have to walk all the way back into that field to find it. I've yet to be able to go out there and just set up some EVP recorders out there and see if I catch anything. Because remember when we first started out over there at Port Isabel, we did the museum there that night.
Mm-hmm.
With the big wooden pier to walk out inside the museum, and we were taking our equipment in and out, watching that wood.
Oh,
I always start an EMF recorder the minute we get to the destination.
EVP.
Or EVP recorder, sorry. It keeps running the whole time we're there. I will not shut it off. It's that one Olympus I got that can record for like 3 days straight.
Wow.
And then, yes, it's a pain in the butt to go back and listen through all that. That's the work. And people don't want to do that, so they say, we're going to do an EVP session right now. Hey, what if a ghost tried to talk to you 2 minutes ago and you couldn't hear it? Right? So that's why I do it. That's why, if you want to get the big bucks, you do the extra work. But anyway, I had it with me in my pocket, and we were carrying stuff in and out. And on one of the trips going back there, in the distance for about maybe 1 to 2 seconds, you hear yipping, and it sounds like rifle shooting. And at first, and then I thought about it, that sounds like a battle. Yelling, because that's what's going to happen. And we're back during that time when they were fighting those battles, there was a lot of yelling on the battlefield.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't being quiet and concentrating on hitting the enemy like they did after World War I and on. This was the start of it. And I think I checked the date, and I think we were going there around the date where that battle happened, because that took place. It was months after they had already signed. They'd already signed the ceasefire with with Mr. Lee and them back over there in Virginia up there. But yeah, the word didn't get down here. Obviously, they decided to start their own battle a couple of months later because some recruit lieutenant from the Union didn't get a taste of any. Some of you guys didn't get a taste of battle, so they had this gentleman's agreement. They weren't going to attack each other because the war was over. But he went and attacked anyway, and at the end result was he got his ass handed to him, and then they retreated. They got whooped. So the final battle of the Civil War was fought here in Texas, and the Confederates won. Most people don't like to hear that, though, because hey, no, that was a skirmish. The war was over. It was a skirmish. Hey, not to the guys fighting, it wasn't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're right about that. About it, man.
And I never learned about that until I did research on all that, and that's how I found out about that.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your, about some of your investigations, man. Have you guys ever got punched, scratched, knocked out, or anything?
I had something fall on me.
Yeah, something got dropped on her from a stairwell up above where we're sitting.
I was sitting in the chair.
That was at the yacht club.
I keep wanting to call it the boathouse.
It was a Port Isabel. It was the yacht club when we did that big investigation.
I'm sitting in a chair.
That's the night
with my arms like this.
And that PSB-7 Spirit box, actually, was it that? No, it was a Radio Shack hack box. It was going nuts, answering, saying things, giving names. I mean, not even waiting for me to say what I was going to say, and it would say something. Help,
Hmm.
a lot of helps and go. It's like it's going to happen sometimes. You're going to get to a
Oh
place where
yeah,
there is
definitely.
energy there. And she had something fell. At first, she panicked. She thought it was a spider or something got on her.
Panic. I
Oh,
sat
well, anyway.
still and I
But
said,
something landed on me, and I shone the flashlight, and there was nothing
shine
on
the
her.
flashlight on me and see what's here.
And we couldn't find anything.
Because I was under, it was dark. I didn't know if it was real or fake, but there was a tree
I was
right
artificial.
here. It was in the dining room.
It was an artificial tree, but it looked real.
Tree, but I didn't know that. And I'm sitting there, arms up on the couch or the chair, and I felt it hit my head, and then just very, almost feather-like, just down my face, neck, and then it just appeared. I said,
So you told me you thought it might have been a spider.
I said, it could be a leaf, could have been a spider. Shine the light over here. No spider,
Nothing.
no leaf, no dust. And I'm like, okay. I'm out the chair now.
That's just a small touch, though. I mean, that's me. I've never been punched, hit, or scratched, but I've been there when the people who were around me did have that happen.
Oh, cool, dude.
I had matches thrown at me or toothpicks.
That's interesting.
We were investigating one of
Joe's parents' house.
Yeah, another member of our group. We were at his parents' house because they'd seen things. They've had things happen there, and that area was known for having. I think there was a small cemetery plot that had been there at one location close by, and then it got moved to another place. They moved the body, so that's usually a recipe for some kind of disaster there.
Yeah, it is.
Poltergeist.
So I'm sitting at the table. We got the cameras rolling. It's dark. There's a little tiny light, but not much of one. And it was one of those open counters to the kitchen, a half counter. And they walked around, and there was the little pantry doors were up to the sink. And I was sitting in a chair back looking towards it. And there was an empty plate in front of me set for dinner because we didn't really eat it. And then all of a sudden, something hits the plate. Wow. A toothpick. There was nobody in the kitchen. I immediately ran to the kitchen and started checking out. I said, Joe, did you throw that thing for me? He said, no, man, I didn't do nothing. He was sitting back on the other side of the room, not even near the kitchen. So I'm sitting there, in a few more minutes, whoop, one hits me in the head and falls on the plate. And I just came out and said, if you're a spirit, just say what you want to say. Or here.
Quit hitting me in the head with toothpicks.
Okay, I can't launch them back at you because I can't see where you're at. But, yeah. So I've been fortunate. But I have, in the Indiana Ghost Trackers, there were some people who were pushed to the ground. One guy was thrown across the room, hit a wall, and got the air knocked out of him. Now, I warn people, if something like that happens, it's a possibility that that's an extremely hostile spirit or a demon. Get out.
Exactly.
I mean, the demon's at that location for some reason. People, they can just leave, and he's not going to leave that area for whatever it was that it's there for. But, hostile, evil entities of, former people can get very angry, especially if they've been on this planet a long time. They're just angry about everything because they can't move on. So those are the ones that can actually attack people, and not only that, they try to feed off of other spirits that are in the area because whenever you get these calls of spirits asking for help, it's usually something like that. They're stuck in some kind of malevolent situation with a much angrier, nasty spirit.
I can't read that.
Doesn't want to reveal himself to anyone. It just wants to, take. And,
okay, if you guys had a percentage of how many people have called you guys to come and investigate my house, and then call you back and say, never mind, what would be the number on that?
Or you mean never just follow? Or you mean never just follow back at all? And then when I try to contact them,
give me
the story about how Granny told us not about 80%.
80%.
About 70 and 80%.
That's a pretty high number.
It is because there's a lot of superstition down here. It is a lot.
Now, do you think that? Because I know there's a lot of old heads down there. Like you say, they might have a great influence, with saying no. Then I don't know. It's a lot of Catholics down there also. More Catholics than Christians, I would think. That might have a lot to say, in that.
Good amount of Catholics, but and we're getting a lot of comments now.
Yeah, the comments are coming on
I
big
can't
time
wait.
now.
Oh yeah,
Somebody just asking about what we would do at an investigation if somebody had been practicing witchcraft there. That is becoming very common. I hear a lot of people questioning other people, and I'm sure you've gotten. I know for a fact you've gotten that question before.
oh yeah,
People question you about, you go to a house, they say somebody practiced some witchcraft here, and we got this bad juju going on here, and what do we do about it? Well, I'll hands down.
Joe's house was weird.
I will hands down tell you the only thing you can do in that case. Get a Catholic priest to come and do a blessing prayer with anointed oil and holy water. And
yeah, because
people don't want to believe that works, but it will work. I mean, exorcisms work, which is why the church trains every so many years. They train, I think, 10 priests total. And they're the ones who, and they don't talk about this. You don't hear it in the paper. They send these people out to Bolivia or whatever it is that this happens, and they take care of it.
Yeah,
There was a movie on with Anthony Hopkins in it about he played one of those exorcist priests, and he was training his young predecessor, and he got possessed, and his predecessor had to. I think it's called the rite. That's how secret they keep that stuff, but the blessing will work.
some people have a misunderstanding about paranormal investigators. Uh, that word investigators should tell you a lot about the team that you
Good.
contact. We investigate and we will give you the knowledge, the validation that you need. Now, as far as me myself, if witchcraft, demons, portals, doors opening, where people are coming in and out, I'm going to clearly tell you that's above me. I'm
That's
not.
yeah. I say that. That's above my pay grade, man. I
That
can't.
is above
I
me.
can't do that. If they have an active portal in that house, not even a blessing is going to get rid of that.
No, because you have to close it.
That is a supernatural power beyond their ability, and depending on what powerful force is keeping that open, it may not be closable. Those people may not have no choice but to move or learn to live with it. In some cases, they have to reach a peaceful settlement with the spirits there. There you go.
Yeah, I definitely, because I really get that all the time. People asking me, how do you get rid of this? How do you get rid of that? And only thing I can tell you is I know people that
Oh, Mary Ann, yeah. Hi,
specialize
Mary.
in that. They are special. That's all they handle. They don't handle any small cases. All the cases is
high profile
big.
only. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a group out of Houston called Spring Paranormal, and that's
I heard of
all
them.
they do. It's
I heard of them.
high level demons, all that stuff. Kind of investigations. They would not mess around with anything smaller than that.
Well, they better have a Catholic priest working for them, because the only effective weapons you're going to use against that is those. There are specific prayers in both Aramaic and in Latin and Greek that they still have, that they have there in the Vatican, which is what they would use for these. But they don't tell people about that. I mean, it's like a military deal, a special forces group, and that stuff's all tippy top secret.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want it getting out to everybody, because, okay, even if you know the exorcism prayer and you try to use it without the proper training, all you're going to do is probably take that thing into you. They're going to say, you want me to leave this body? All right, buddy, here I come, and then that's it. And you don't start rushing into water that you don't know how deep it is.
Right.
I tell people about the paranormal, it's like, it's deep water, so you better be prepared to swim.
Yeah, and all those sharks, man, there's sharks around there.
Not to mention the sharks and the gators or whatever else could be waiting for you.
it's kind of crazy, on how people seems to think like that. There are risks in everything that you do. There are consequences
Yes,
in
sir.
everything that you do, no matter what.
Every day you get up in the morning, you're going to already face your daily challenges. And
Yeah,
paranormal is just. I get it. I've had so many sides coming at me about that stuff. The atheists, yeah, I really like them. I have nothing against people who want to believe whatever they want to believe. That's fine. If you can't taste it, see it, feel it, touch it, or hear it, and you don't want to believe in it, okay. But I've experienced things that would, I'm sorry that saying, would turn people white.
oh,
And
I agree with you.
once you go through that, your life has changed. Other people don't realize that I mean, for yourself. We all walk the path of life ourselves. I mean, me and her are together, but I don't walk her path for her. She doesn't walk mine. We get knowledge, and then if you're wise enough, that knowledge leads to wisdom. But it doesn't always work that way. For a
Exactly.
lot of people, you can be the book smartest people you ever want, but they ain't got the common sense to shut a door or something simple that everybody else takes for granted.
Exactly. You're right on that, brother.
We learn things. People warn you. Oh, that house. Look, another group went through there, and they ran out of there purple and screaming. You don't want to go back there. And what's the first thing they do? Oh, I'm gonna be in there tonight. We're a tactical paranormal. We're gonna be in there tonight, and we're gonna be ready. Hey, man, another bat beating might be coming, but hey, you can't say someone didn't try to warn you.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
this can be dangerous. Okay, there should be no casual thinking about investigating the paranormal because it can become dangerous.
Yes,
When
sir.
people say, "What the heck you doing that for, man?" I mean, it's like let the spirits rest, and well, that's the problem.
They're not.
They don't rest.
Spirits don't rest.
They're not waiting in their grave there. They may be linked to that grave, but they're not waiting there. That same cemetery, Old City Cemetery. There was a priest buried back there.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
very popular. He was very friendly. They loved him in the community, at the church, and everything. But he died. He was buried there. And I was walking along with my camera, my little recorder, and I see his priest, his name on there, Father. Well, Father, can I come on in just to look around and see your place here? And guess what the EVP I caught was? An old man's voice. Come on in. I mean,
Mm.
clear. So it's, oh, come on in.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. How success? I don't know if you guys have these or not. Uh, how successful are you guys with dowsing rods?
The what?
I myself have not been using it again, but I did work with them with the Indiana Ghost Trackers. And from the couple of times I used it, I only had one time where they moved. And I was not moving them. I mean, I was just holding my hands just barely enough to hold them. And everyone says, oh, they're just moving, they're moving them. But even to move them, you got to move your hand just a little bit and you can see it.
Oh yeah, clear as
You
day.
can see. And I've watched people use it, and those, especially the longer ones, you got to put more power in them. And they moved. Now, people say, oh, they just tilt their hand a little bit left or right and gravity does it. Hey, man, you know what? You believe what you want. I saw that. So,
Well, yeah,
yeah,
especially when you move them and you want to cross them, you definitely got to move your wrist to cross them. There's
you
no
got to
ifs
either
or
move the
buts about
fingers,
that.
or the wrists. And
Oh, here we go.
when the camera, there's cats outside and they hear something, and it's like
Uh-oh.
it's a zompocalypse starting for them. So
Oh,
That time.
quiet. But yeah, the thing is, there's so many ways to get started in this, and I've seen people showing up with just a phone and some apps on the phone, and maybe a little recorder, and somebody else carrying a camera. That's technically all you need if you want to
yeah,
actually find
technically.
out if there's activity there. But if you
I mean,
find out it's more extensive, you're going to have to get more stuff and come back.
yeah,
And,
definitely.
you know,
The deeper you get into it, the more expensive it gets.
It
And
can.
go ahead.
It
Yeah.
can get expensive.
it can become like
Yeah,
a boat.
it gets
It can
really
become a
expensive.
hole in the water if you're not careful.
And that's why I always say I would never go past my means. Believe it or not, I might have 12 cameras, but each one of those cameras, like you say, Dave, hell, it costs no more than 80, maybe $60.
And if anything, you can also incorporate them as part of your home security system if you need to. So,
Yeah,
there's always, they're not going to be wasted. You can put them to use for something.
you can put them to use.
So expensive.
I found ways to investigate. People might think it's crazy, but hey, if I get results out of it, I think that's a plus for me. You
Oh,
know, the good thing I know about different investigators is different investigators do things different. No
Exactly.
two investigators do the same thing.
Exactly.
You know
And
what I'm saying?
what I try to impart on people is the cheapest way to be effective. I mean, you don't want to. Yeah, I'd love to go buy a PSP 11, but why am I going to get one when my PSP 7 works just fine?
Just fine.
Why am I going to go spend another $100 just so I can show off? I said, look what we got, folks.
Yeah,
You're
and
jealous
actually,
now, aren't you?
you know what? And the speaker might not be loud on that, but if you go to Five Below and get a speaker or well, I forgot the name of that store.
Five Below.
Five Below and get a little speaker, you're good. There you go.
And it's Bluetooth, but now the PSP 11 has the Bluetooth, and this one doesn't. I just connect a cable. I don't want to worry about something interfering with the signal. And this box is loud. Now it's got its own battery built in, or you can replace it. You just plug in the USB and charge it till the light goes out. This thing will last all night. It's a good speaker. Plus it has a radio built in, I guess, if you needed it for something else. But
Yeah.
I've been using these two since I stopped using the Shack Hack, because I still have it in there, but it's getting hard to find them. Those things, like, since Radio Shack pretty much dropped out, everyone's been demanding them, and they've been going up in price. Like I said, I gave the other one I had to another investigator, and he uses it, and they still work. But again, another thing is, as far as low-level equipment that you can get now pretty cheap, these right here, the good OK2, it's still reliable.
Yeah.
And picking up a signal is something. But
Probably
the Wi-Fi from back there and the computer right here. But now this one I have to put a guitar pick in there to keep it running, because I've been meaning to put a switch in there, but I have guitar picks on my wall. I got 8 guitars laying around in various locations, and so I've been playing the guitar for years. So I always got picks. I just stick one in there, and I forgot to bring a penny, so I just put a pick in there. And these will work.
Yeah,
I think they're $20 now, maybe $25.
Hell, I've seen little as $10, $10.99.
And they work. You only need maybe 2 of them for 2 small groups. Are going to be at various locations in the house, and go pick up 1 or 2 cell sensors. Good old 9-volt battery. I like this for ease of use, and the fact that you got a light in the dark, a light in the darkness. It just tells you when you're. And so you're going to hear that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And then you just break out your little less than $15 little EMF detector, turn it on, and then turn the light on so the light comes on. Well, you can't see it. See, then the light comes on, stays on enough for you to quick and say, oh, no, it's a radio or something. We just passed a power line. And, it takes the guesswork out of it. And people are like, is it really that simple? It is. But see, you got to learn those little ends of those little factors there.
Right. Now, are you guys content with just investigating South Texas? There's a lot of history down there. Are you guys willing to come north?
Oh yeah. It's all based on economics. I mean, I wish I had the money, because I'd be all over the state.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I'd even drive up north to do some jobs, go back up there, work with my old buddies in the Indiana Ghost Trackers a couple of times. They went into that big asylum up there that everyone was trying to get into for all those years. They had the death chute on, the death tunnel. Remember?
Yeah.
Waverly Hills.
Waverly.
I left right before I moved down back to Texas when they were getting ready to go there. And I wanted to go so bad to that place. But and there's prisons up there I'd love to get into that all these big groups have gone to. The one where Al Capone was in.
Okay.
The St. Augustine Lighthouse. That's the one in the Ghost Hunters. I think it's season 5. You see that black shadow person looking down from the top of the stairs. The light was on behind him, and you could see a black shadow right there, and then it just disappeared off the stairs.
Yeah, I think that was one in Florida.
Yeah, St. Augustine.
Yeah, St. Augustine.
That's the oldest lighthouse One of the oldest lighthouses in the United States.
Well, I think in that city, I think that city was probably one of that town or city. It's probably one
It's
of
the
the
oldest
oldest
town.
towns in the
It is the
state.
oldest.
I mean, in the country.
Because it was an actual church before the colonies even landed up there.
Yeah.
There was a church or something set there.
Yeah, something was there before then.
Yeah.
I can't remember
Well,
what
that's
the hell it
technically
was.
the oldest known inhabited area at the first start at the beginning of the United States.
So can you
They're very
imagine
haunted.
that, dude? That-
My kind of haunted, the kind that they're open for business 24 hours. So,
Oh yeah, I mean, I would love to go there. Hey, if I ask everybody I'm on my podcast, I ask them this question. Uh, you have a bucket list, right?
sure, yeah. I mean, everybody does, even if even if they don't think about it and say they don't, they do.
Where would you, if you had a place to haunt, to investigate on your bucket list, where would it be? No matter in the country or in the world, no matter what, no matter what, where would you like to go?
I'm trying to. It's in the UK. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Anywhere on the planet, or just here in the United States?
Anywhere on the planet.
It'd definitely be the UK. There's 10 spots there that are really. I mean, I don't know if you ever remember. There used to be a show called Most Haunted. They used to be on years back, and they're coming.
Right.
They're on again. They come on the Travel Channel only every so often. I'll set it up to tape whenever they come on. But she's still in the show along with her husband there, and she still screams and yells at every little thing that happens. They're just playing that up for fun, because she can't still be that like after doing it that many years. But yeah, I would love to go there because they have some of that and the place in France, the same as above, so below, all those tunnels under there where all the people are buried.
Okay.
Where
Wow.
every time people have gone in there, they come out of there. I'm not going back down there, man. Well, of course, you sit in the dark. You're sitting in the dark in a room where there's just skulls and skeletons all around you in the
all
wall.
over that place.
I mean, that place has got to be the Taj Mahal of haunted, man. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, that would be. You know what, dude? Me myself, I always say France. I would go France. I would do Normandy Beach. I would love to investigate that beach. But I also would like. I was thinking about this at work, bro. I was thinking about. Have you ever been to New York?
I have. When I was stationed in Groton, when I was going to Naval Sub School up there, that my first or second weekend, I went up to New York City just to,
Do
only
you
time I ever been there.
do you know how many levels of subways stations they have underground?
There's a lot.
There's a lot of different levels on. I give up. I'm typing without my glasses on, guys.
Mary, you're typing fine. That's okay. She says I'm giving up. I'm typing without my glasses.
I can't even read them without mine.
But yeah, I forgot about that. And plus, Gettysburg.
Gettysburg, yeah, definitely.
Especially after that video. I don't know if you saw it, but these guys are driving around in a car down there. They got a camera pointed towards that cannon. They're parked, and you see that spirit see through.
Yeah, just walking along.
Walks around, turns around, and then disappears as he's walking. Hold on a second. Dan, I'll have to call you. I'll have to call you back in the middle of the podcast right now. Yes.
She's like, I'll take that sofa. Mary, you are so funny. I'll take that sofa on a hunt.
I want to read. I can't even see the screen.
Oh, it's my brother. He's all panicking because I had to wash clothes for my sister because her machine broke down. And I didn't tell him we're time changed, so he probably thought we were already done. So
okay.
Sorry about that.
Ain't no problem. No
My
problem.
phone doesn't ring all that often, and I like that.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and the reason why I picked that place is Normandy because of the war, and New York because of the subways, and because it was a major epicenter for the COVID pandemic.
Yes.
I think more people died in New York City than died anywhere else in the country.
Yeah, all those refrigerated 18-wheelers they had to have outside to start putting bodies in. That was
But did you guys ever wonder where they put those bodies at?
a lot of them got cremated.
A lot of them got
They burned them.
cremated,
They
but
burned them.
also some of them went to
The subway.
uh, that Island of the Dead. Island of the Dead is a place. It's an island. You're not able. You're not supposed to get. It's. You're not supposed to go there.
They got all kinds of other stuff buried there, like waste and all kinds of other stuff too.
Well, yeah, because it was an insane asylum before then. They shut it down in the 1980s, and there were already hundreds of bodies there.
What was the name of the island?
The Island of the Dead.
Well, what was the facility that was there? You don't remember?
I don't remember the name of the facility that was there.
It's not
Uh,
Rikers Island, is it?
no, 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 no. I
Okay.
think Rikers is still an active
It's
uh,
still open.
prison. And I think Rikers is upstate New York, if I'm right.
Oh, okay, that's right.
And they was so the politicians like, where are we going to put all these bodies? And they decided to put it on the Island of the Dead. And the good thing about, and no, not the good thing. The weirdest thing is they couldn't get people, they couldn't hire people to do this. So they went and got a bunch of inmates from Rikers, I think, or the prison that was close by there,
That wouldn't be
to
surprising.
to bury the body. Now, the way that they buried these bodies is 10 to 15 stacked high.
Wow.
Because you guys got to remember, it's on an island, so eventually you're gonna hit water.
They use
Yeah.
those stackable FEMA coffins to bury them. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. So, dude, from what I was told,
Cool.
Sounds like a good place. to
Road
go
trip.
to. Yeah.
there's over 60,000 bodies on that island.
Wow.
That would be
I'd heard there were a lot of I didn't know what the count was, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy haunted right there.
That is crazy, huh? Not only that, dude, there's kids stacked among adults. They just stacked them up. They didn't care the age. They didn't care about the male, female. They just wanted those bodies buried and just stacked them in there and covered them up and put one big cross, and that was it. So you really don't know who or what the names of the individuals that they were buried in. It totally crazy.
And isn't it that still some families never found where their kids went?
No,
And they've been trying to, well, somebody does know what bodies got put where and they kept track of it, but they just, that was totally, there was no acceptance for that.
oh yeah,
They
definitely.
should have been cataloging everything they did, know where this body was. If some family wants to go and get their child back and give them a decent burial, they should have the option to do that.
Yeah,
See, this is another this is when you give a governing body blanket authority to do, whatever else they're going to do. I mean, for these families, though, they're never going to get any closure over, what happened to their
No,
kids. I
they're
mean, they know
not.
they died. They know
Yeah.
that, but
and you know what? And I think the spirit, if the spirit or ever, they're probably in limbo, wondering,
yeah.
what's going on, how this happened.
What I tell people, because they ask me, I go, well, that poor little girl in the cemetery, she didn't do nothing wrong. Why is she still wandering around out there? I said, look, we don't know the circumstances. All we know is that the afterlife is pretty much completely something we really don't know very much about. We know very little. We know it
Right.
exists, and we know it exists, and we know when we leave this body, we're going to end up transitioning to that location. But what is it? How big is it? Why that little girl still stay there? And kids see her playing in that cemetery, even to this day. They throw toys in there. They leave balls by her grave. They leave toys there, and people see a little girl playing with the toys there in the cemetery.
Right? That's crazy.
Why
Hey, guys. Yeah,
Why
that
she's
is
tied to
crazy.
that location? don't know. I mean, there's been tons of theories. The tragic death left her linked to that area, but she's obviously cognizant. She's not a what do you call it? A residual haunt. She said things directly to me. You know, on that EVP, she was talking to me when I was asking about us going to the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to where the bodies had all come out, and because we were going to investigate there. I didn't hear it, of course, but first the recorder played. You hear this little kid playing in the background. There were no kids out there. Little giggling. You hear the sound in the background, a little humming. I said, that sounds like a child playing back there. And then she didn't say nothing to me until I asked, what was her name? The one who worked at that was our other member temporarily for a short time.
The one who went back to
she went back to the military.
Middle East.
And she was working for the military. So, but anyway,
I can't remember what her name was.
I asked her, well, what time is it we're supposed to go back there and do this tonight? She goes, I think we're supposed to go. And she was telling me right after that, you hear a little girl's voice, very clear. Watch your back when you go over there, David.
Oh, really?
She said it directly to me because there was nobody else there named David. And that one kind of made the hair stand up on the back of my neck a little bit. But it was a clear little girl's voice. Nothing, there was nothing malevolent about it. And I feel sad for the poor little girl because a lot of people have seen her there even to this day, playing in the cemetery.
Now,
playing for eternity, that can't be that bad, you know, but
right.
Still.
Well, one thing we can both agree on is, because I hear this from a lot of people that I talk to, you know, just because, you know, the night doesn't mean that all the spirits come out at night.
That's true. That's nonsense.
That don't make any sense.
They don't care about the clock. They're 24. They're open 24/7.
Yeah.
I tell people that they do it at night. The reason these shows all do it at night because it's dark.
You get the creepy aspect to it.
It's like, oh, and some people have had their best experiences in broad daylight. They've seen full-bodied, figured apparitions, broad daylight, wearing clothes, perfume, smelling like cigarettes or cigars. And, you know, so you can't say that. But, again, it's much more dramatic. It's at night. It's dark. We're walking around in the dark. You know, people could get scared. And, okay, you can get just as scared in the day with the lights on. I tell people, if something's going to scare you bad enough to run the hell out of there, it don't matter whether it's nighttime or daytime. You know, don't fall for that. Oh, it's okay. We're going to check out the house during the day. It should be all right. You know, it's only after midnight these things come out.
No.
If you believe that, you're already falling into the. You're starting out on the wrong foot there, pal.
No, if you believe that, man, you are falling in that Hollywood crap. And everybody knows I'm not a big fan of Hollywood. Every person I had on my podcast, they know I'm not a big fan of Hollywood.
If anything, if they've watched Supernatural, they should pay attention to one fact: that any ghost can be dangerous. So,
and
I don't know about beating him with an iron stick or anything like that to scare him off or throwing salt on him, but actually, though, salt is supposed to, because it is a ritual purifier. So, in the occult, it does have, along with other certain types of herbs and other mixtures and elixirs. She would know a little bit more about that than I do. That's her area of although I have been studying a lot of it because I want to know the information.
Exactly.
The little encyclopedia of occult knowledge. I have some books in there that if my mom knew I had them, she would just she'd probably fall over.
The hell out of
she'd fall over dead probably. Like the some of Aleister Crowley's writings about stuff. But because I want to understand the mentality behind the thinking of that, not because I'm going to go sit down naked and do some kind of, I'm going to do all this stuff. So I'm going to bring all this money to me and I'm going to become powerful. That's what a lot of those people were practicing that for power. It's all about, in the end, that's what they want, either the money or the power. I mean, it's like people selling their souls. Yeah, I don't really need it. So if I can get some money, hey, well, okay, if you don't believe in your soul and stuff like that, why is this guy willing, some, sulfury smelling guy willing to, make you a deal for it?
Exactly.
It's got to be worth something. And I asked my brother, is it just people ain't got common sense like that? He goes, that's the problem. There's a lot of people that don't.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of people that do, but they're just looking at the dollar signs.
Yeah. And they don't
They just look
realize
at the dollar
that
signs.
they got a much longer ride coming than they're thinking about. And now, where that journey is going to take them, it's not going to be too fun at first.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I've started, doing podcasts and on witchings, witches, pagans, warlocks, and the occult just in
She's with you.
itself.
She has practiced and studied the ways of Wicca. And, I'm a former Catholic, so what a combination, right? But
Right.
but I've expanded my mind. I am not going to become one of these. The saddest thing, and I will say this about religion because it's become political. It always ends up about controlling the people, power over those people. And how do they get that? Fear, brother. Your eternal soul and damnating fire. If you don't put that money in my communion box every month, you're going to be burning, buddy. Burn, burn, burn. And I heard so much of that, I just couldn't stand it anymore.
You sound like that damn priest that came on TV. What was his name back in the day? I can't think of his name, man. White guy.
Jimmy Swaggart?
There you go.
Who's the one that got caught in the Cadillac with all the that was Jimmy Swaggart.
The one that Jimmy Swaggart?
He got caught with all the prostitutes. The one that was married to Tammy Faye Baker?
Yep. I think that was him. They actually made a movie about that.
The one that Ozzy made the song about called Miracle Man?
Yep.
Little Jimmy got busted with his pants down. But yeah, and it's about money. And if you want to go to the Bible, and I tell people this, it does say in the Bible, you can only worship one master. One. And people choose in this world, they're choosing that to be money.
Yeah.
And so be it, if that's what you want. But you can't put $1 of that in your coffin when they bury you or when they cremate you. So
yeah.
Someone wants to ask a question.
Sure, ask. What you got for me?
Can you see the what they're typing down there?
Yes, sir.
Fire away.
Better than me.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You sure can ask a question, Joe Zoo. What's up, brother?
Here we go. I can't read this.
That's all right. Have you had any scary experiences doing what you do? If so, what stands out? This is just what we were talking about. I have not had, knock on wood so far, what I consider to be some of the more terrifying things you can have happen to you. Now, you could also just get what they call dread syndrome. You're all of a sudden, you're just overwhelmed. I mean, it's like everything's pressing in on you. You're being compressed. You start to feel like, something's making you making you angry and have these violent feelings. That's a spirit's attempt to possess you, to influence you, to make you do something. If they've targeted you for whatever reason, the best thing you can do, get out of that room, go outside, walk around, breathe some fresh air. It can happen. But you also have to be careful because sometimes your own anxiety can become that same monster. Anxiety can start to make you panic like that, and you're not sure. Either way, you need to step back from the environment.
Get out of there. Take a
just
deep
doing
breath.
that, and you can diffuse a lot of stuff. Again, you see it on the shows all the time, and I think in some cases they're playing it off. Like this one where like Zach Baggins got real mad and he wanted to start punching, and he was going to hit the skinny guy that's there with him all the time, and so he just went outside. Man, I'm just so angry right now. I don't know what came into me. That can happen. It could cause violence because if that entity or that person was a very bad person and attacked other people all the time, they still want to do the same thing. They want to screw with whoever's there. And for whatever reason, they're trapped there because they're cursed to be there, or they're paying a penance that they have to stay in that location. Now that they're crossed over and looked at it for 100 years or whatever it is, they're not going to be too happy. So here comes Joe Green, a green shoe over here. Never done an investigation before. He's coming into that place. I got my phone app here. I got my EVP recorder. I'm all ready to go. Let's see what happens. And it can be terrible. That's a recipe for pure disaster.
Yeah. Hey, Jezu, I can tell you a story that we was doing an investigation in Bastrop, Texas, and my wife
That's
is
right.
a witness.
Bastrop, Texas.
I went in, we did what we're doing, but I came out of a certain room, and I was just sitting down, then I just started coughing real bad. I mean, like, I was just overwhelmed with, I don't know, something was trying to come through me, or, some kind of communication there. I really don't know. But I got up and I walked outside, and I walked by the van, and I was like constantly coughing real. I mean, it was real heavy. To me, it sounded like a smoker's cough. I'm not quite sure, but I don't smoke. You know,
Uh,
so
but did you feel anything constricting you?
I felt a lot of pressure on my chest.
Like something was trying to, it was trying to stop your heart, man.
Yeah.
That's what it was trying to do. It was trying to either choke you. And these sort of direct attacks, I've heard a lot of cases where they've happened. Now, that's not as bad as getting picked up and thrown across a room.
Oh no, 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 no.
For most people, one of the guys in the Indiana Ghost Trackers did that, and he was a sport. He took, a week later, he was back doing it. He goes, I'm not gonna be influenced. I chose to do this because I want to enlighten my own path, and I want to find out why they're trying to stop me from getting information they don't want me to have, and
Exactly.
which is that's hey, good for you, but again, you got to take this on a case by case basis. The next poor Joe, maybe he just ain't cut out for that.
Yeah.
And well, I did start doing that as a greenhorn until I got thrown across the room, and then I said, they don't like me for some reason, and there you
But
go.
people have to understand these these entities, or whatever you choose to call them, depends on what religion you are. Uh, they can be very powerful, like that. If they choose to be.
Even
They can
capable
suck
of
up.
even capable of possession.
Yeah, they can suck all the energy out of you, and like David said, they can throw you across the room. They can do whatever they want. I mean, it really don't matter, on how you feel, or whatever's going on with you. If they want to choose and pick you specifically, that's what they're gonna do.
And the
You know,
only thing you can do is get out because they're not going to stop while you're there.
no.
They've got you targeted for whatever reason. You look like somebody they knew in their time, and that's all it takes. And
Hey, and don't be surprised if they don't fucking follow you home,
yes,
and it gets even worse then.
it's called
You know,
adoption. That's what they call it, and it can happen. Okay, folks, for those of you that have never heard that before, you can actually become an adoptive person and adopt someone and not even know it. You could think you're going on your first little ghost hunt. There you go. Oh, I got the Ouija board out. Next thing you know, man, I got back from that place, and doors are opening and shutting in my house. Uh, the silverware's getting pulled up, plates are getting knocked down out of the kitchen. It's happened.
oh yeah.
And again, maybe the only way to get that spirit out, it might leave on its own. It may just be going there to give you a good scare because it's like, you know what? You come in my house, man, and you try to talk this to me. That could be it, or it could just say, I'm going to stay here. I'm bored of that place, and because of you, you've allowed me to escape. You'd allowed me to latch into you and escape from my prison here. So thank you. Now I'm going to
Exactly.
hang on here, and it
Yeah.
could be. I mean, I joked to her about adopting the little Daisy spirit over there, and she was like, "Oh, I thought she was
No.
not happy about that."
All right. Hey, Jazoo, if you want to get a hold of me, I have a Facebook page that's called NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast. You can contact me on there. You can contact me on NSPS TV Paranormal. That's my paranormal page. And I just got a Twitch going.
Remember, we got to look at
NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast also.
we got to get signed up to your Twitch page there, buddy. I've got to do
Okay.
that.
Now,
Let me go get it for on behalf of his question. Let me go get one thing that I can show him that will also help him out.
okay.
Hold on just a second.
Oh, I can read what the heck it is. I can't see that. He's a little stinker. This is Tipper. Yes, that's your mama. Love you, years.
Yep, sage in, sage out. That's what we always say.
Yep. Oh yeah, I have sage. I got all kinds of stuff.
Ooh wee.
Yeah, if we took these guys on a any type of a investigation, the ghost they would probably get rid of the ghost because they said they couldn't get a word in edgewise. This one likes to bark at the wind blowing the wrong direction.
Well, that's a good sign. I mean, I like because hey, I can't get my cats to do anything.
Eh, well, she'll start it, or her mom will start it, and then they get her dad into it, and it's loud, very loud.
I'm trying to. Anybody want to adopt any cats? Let me know.
I have 6 or 7 outside as it is. You gonna get down? Come here, Champ. Come here. You wanna say hi?
Well, I
You
know
wanna say
where
hi?
it is. It's in that cabinet there, and I'm not going to be able to get it out right now.
Oh,
It's in that book of bag goodies right
go
there.
sit on it.
There's a book called How to Hunt Ghosts by Joshua P. Warren. Now it came out, I think, early 2000-ish sometime,
Okay.
and it's a great primer to get started. It's still on Amazon, if I'm correct.
Is it that time?
Okay. Hey, Jill, if you're curious and if you want to, if there's a way to test something to see if paranormal is real, can you be a little bit more specific on that? You know, I mean, to be a paranormal investigator, you have to have an open mind.
Yes.
That's one. I mean, you really have to. I mean, because if you go into a mind, a closed mind is like a skeptic. So everything that you see, everything that you visualize, you're gonna be a skeptic about, which is not bad because I like a skeptic.
Exactly. You have to maintain a skeptical approach because you don't know what you're dealing with until you get there. I mean, you're not going to have any idea if this place has something going on, or am I wasting my time here? You're going to have some cases where that's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen.
Nothing.
Nada. Doesn't mean there's anything there. But remember,
Exactly.
you got all these strangers showing up in the house. These that's their home. Spirits
Okay.
are people too. That's
Right.
their home. They don't know who these bozos are, so they're just going to hang back.
Yeah.
Unless they
Hey,
got this one guy who's like a real bad dude, and that could be different. But I've had that happen so many times that it can get frustrating. But
hey, Dave, you want to answer that question for Jeff Zoo?
how you can experience something paranormal? That is, I gotta be honest. That is one of the most interesting ways of asking that question that I've seen it phrased that way.
Now, see, the thing is, you going out and experiencing paranormal is something that it doesn't happen every day. Either you catch it at a certain time, when you least expect it, or let's say you somewhere and you provoke something. Now, the worst thing you could do is go somewhere and provoke
Yeah,
something.
don't
You
do
don't
that.
want to do that.
You see it on TV shows. If you want to do something, you want to come into me. Come on into me. Yeah. Okay.
So
Okay. Word to the wise. Something just might come at you, and I
so
always say start slow, because it is possible that your first paranormal experience could be one that scares the life out of you.
yeah.
We'll give
It's
them a treat
possible.
so they'll settle down.
Go ahead.
Just because you're open minded doesn't mean uh,
Go, Mama.
you never experienced it. You know what? You might have experienced it, but you never noticed.
Exactly.
You
Um,
never noticed. You
my
know.
example here, this house I live in, you can see it's an old house. It's 70 years old on the inside. It belonged to my grandfather. It was built here in South Texas back in the 30s. The outside's been remodeled with brick, and they put in central air ducts and put in central air, and they completely rebuilt the house. But on the inside, it's still the same old house that my dad grew up in, and I'm renting it from my dad right now. Is what I'm doing. But the I've had experiences here, but I don't think it is per se a haunting. I think in some cases, some of these spirits just stop by to take a gander and check on what's going on from time to time, and that's all it is. And there's no reason to panic about that. I mean, like he said, you could have already had an experience and you don't even know it yet. I
Don't
mean,
even know
remember,
it.
they call us ghost hunters, but who's really doing the hunting when you can't see what it is you're after? It's like hunting a predator. Who's the real hunter? Um,
Exactly.
People, you need to think about that. It's like, unless you got a proton pack on your back, okay, maybe. But I don't know if anyone's made one of those yet. So um, again, you could, if you want to have a potential paranormal experience by yourself, a little, or if you already got one, a digital recorder, you can use a digital recorder on your phone. That does
Yeah.
work. Or an old fashioned, go down to Walmart and buy the analog cassette player with
Okay.
analog tape.
Yeah.
Put
Or
batteries in it, walk down to a cemetery when it's not too full of people, go back to a back area and just walk around reading the gravestone, saying hello, hi Julie, how are you doing today? Just coming to visit your area here. Be respectful. Don't be disrespectful. You might not get any results, or somebody be pissed off and walk out of there with you when you go home, or something like that happen. Don't do that.
yeah.
But I guarantee you, I've never gone to a cemetery, and I used to do that. Pitch middle of the night up there in Indiana. I mean, I went to this one cemetery. It was old, had these old gargoyles in it. Something you would probably see out of a horror movie. And then the wind and the trees blowing, making shadows that moved around. It can creep you out if you're not prepared for that. But
Yeah.
and but there's a lot of wind. Okay, that could interfere with your EVPs. But still, I guarantee you're going to catch something.
Oh yeah.
And when
Hey.
you play
Yeah.
it back, if your hair is going to stand up on the back of your neck, expect that. But that's probably the quickest way to find out something for yourself.
Oh, hey, Jelzu, do me a favor, dude. If you're really curious, if you really want that first paranormal experience, this is what you really need to do. Go get you a small cat motion ball. Make sure it works. Hit the little black button, turn it off and on, and go get you a K2 meter. Leave your phone in the car. Uh, I don't care if it's day or night. Well, if it's night, yeah, something just like that. If it's night, you can see the K2 ball actually light up a little bit more during the day. But just go to a graveyard and ask, like you're saying, ask specific questions, be respectful, and just see if that K2 will fluctuate just a little bit. Or, put that ball near a certain tombstone and just ask, hey, is your name blah, 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 and see if that ball goes off. If that ball goes off, you just had your first paranormal experience.
And if that ball goes off, I would almost be willing to bet you're not 100%, but I'd say about 90% chance you're going to catch an EVP too.
Yeah,
Got enough energy to move your ball, they're going to leave you they're going to leave you a recorded message.
yeah.
So
You know, it might not be much. It might be a yes or a no or something really simple. But if you do three of those things, I can almost guarantee you will have your first successful paranormal experience. And that's not, and you really not going out the way. I mean, you're really not, going out your way to do that. It's something simple. You spending just a couple bucks, on that, and you know what, and that's something you be able to tell the next person that hey, I've actually experienced this.
I like that. Eliminate the REM pod because that'll do everything you need right there, and not
Yeah.
have to pay $200+ and put all those batteries in there to charge it up. Good
Yeah.
old fashioned plastic toy. It works. Not to say that if you did come the chance to get a REM pod or something, hey, more power to you. But I've just never used them. What I miss is the old Radio Shack motion detectors that they used to have. They used to be able to go in there and buy them.
Oh yeah.
Turn them on, and the little red light will come on when something cuts across them.
Oh
But
yeah.
no Radio Shack anymore, so
Yeah. Darn Radio Shack.
I miss them.
Oh, dude, you can go in there and find anything you want for a reasonable price.
If I needed a capacitor or a resistor, I just walked in there and got it. Now I got to go online and order it, wait for it to come from China or wherever, because Lord knows we don't even make them in this country anymore.
I'm not going to spend $200 and got to wait 6 months to fucking get it. Nah, I'm not going to do all that.
That's ridiculous. And but yeah, like he said, you can do this economically. Okay, you may not look as fancy as the Ghost Adventures and these other guys, but you're going to do the same thing. You don't need to have just because you ain't driving a Cadillac and you're driving a Pinto, you still get to the same destination. So if I had some money, I'm not going to say I'm not going to go buy. I do want to buy a millimeter. I want to get one because I like them. They got a lot of gear built into them. But I already have the tri-field meter, so that's actually more sensitive than that meter is going to be. But it does not have that detection circuit built into it. But hey, I don't need that. I just carry that little tracking ball with me, set it down on the ground there, step back, check my meter, start running in, my EVP, ask some questions, and wait and see what happens. Old little ball that starts moving around, lighting up. Is there a draft in here? No. Did anyone move or stomp the floor? No. Anyone get near it? No. And you got camera on it, so you've just had a paranormal experience right there. Yes, supernatural experience.
Hey, Jelzu, to answer your question is yes. Animals, man, they are very, 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 their eyes and their senses are way more,
Asking about dogs' experiences and sense of things. Yes, absolutely. I have had an experience that was. Did we already have Tammy when Robbie was here with us?
Yes.
When I experienced seeing that shadow over there.
Oh, the shadow, I don't know.
No, that was before we had her. But yeah, we've got 2 Chihuahuas and a little Cocker Spaniel in here.
Half Chihuahua, half Cocker
Spaniel. Well, she still looks more like a Cocker Spaniel, just a mini Cocker Spaniel. And they smell everything. They hear everything. Their senses they're like Daredevil senses would be compared to us because they're evolution. But cats too. You've seen videos where a cat's there, all of a sudden it's like a black sheep. That cat stands up and is gone, and then they see it's caught on video, whatever it is. Yeah, I would say so. I have to agree with that. But sometimes, though, you can't prove out some of those videos weren't rigged. But the ones that show that shadow person moving, the cat looks back, then they show the shadow person appeared, and I was like, whoa, see, the cat sensed something. We can be that way, too. See, that's the problem. Humans, what gets in our way is our perceptions. Perceptions can become like filters that block you from seeing and hearing certain things because you programmed your brain is trying to stop you from receiving something that it doesn't feel you can handle. And for some people don't have that. So they're going to go out there. And my mother had told me about how years back at a cemetery, they were there taking some flowers for her aunt's grave. And she saw this lady in an old white dress that seemed to be like walking along and then bounding up and down and moving funny. And she didn't understand. And it was walking away from her towards one of the mausoleums back there. And she started following her. And she asked her, ma'am, you're walking funny. Is there something wrong? Do you need help? She had gotten right to the door of the mausoleum. And when she turned to look at my mom, her face was just it was totally out of focus. She said she couldn't see any of the details on her face. That it had almost like a skeleton effect to it. And she passed right through the wall into the mausoleum.
Woo.
Some people would have run out of there and not full throttle to the nut house, but um, it sounds like it's funny, but for some people, they just cannot deal with that.
No, they can't.
My ex-wife. Here's another story of that to tell you how dangerous it is. I was still stationed at Kings Bay Submarine Base in southern Georgia, and my wife, my first wife, yes, I've had more than one, went up there to visit. We got in the truck and we were driving. Well, that night, the BF Goodrich blimp was out, and they got these lights that they shine up from underneath, and it was nighttime. I'm driving along and I see through the trees what looked like a perfect oval, disc or oval, and you could see it. It was white. I said, "My God, I don't have a camera. I think that's a flying saucer." And my wife was all like this, and then when she turned and looked, her face went. I saw the biggest round eyes, and it looked like her eyeballs were going to come out of her head, and she just started screaming. I mean, as loud as she could scream. My God, we're going to be abducted. We're going to be abducted. And I'm looking, and I had some binoculars, and I looked, and I said, well, unless you're going to be abducted and taken to someplace here on Earth, I just saw the letters that say BF Goodrich on the side of that bench. And on the side of that vehicle, that aircraft, and she was like, take me home. There are some people like that. And that's my perfect example. Some people, you're going to respond one or two ways to this kind of stuff.
Right.
The extremist reaction, or you're going to be what was that? You see that coming down the hall? And you turn to look, and the person next to you done took off running because they already said, hey, feet don't fail me now. And you're like,
yeah, right.
And you want it cut and dried, that's it. No way to predict how you're going to respond to that. Even you probably don't know until you do it.
And I really don't think you really won't be able to know how your body's going to react until it actually happens. Because some people will say, well, if I see that, I'm going to run, like you're saying. But at that certain point of time when that actually happens, you really don't know on how that would happen. Your body will actually do the total opposite. You know what I'm saying? Your mind might tell you, let's get out of here, but your body might be in a state of shock where it's just going to stay there, and you don't know what your body and your mind are totally two different things.
We're having to borrow their couch to do this.
You know what I'm saying? So it all depends on what exactly your body, your mind, and your body wants to do.
And you can't predict that. You don't know how you're going to react. I mean, again, it'll only take one time. After that, you're going to know. But a question was asking Michelle what she likes to do during an investigation. What do you like to do during an investigation? Your favorite part of it?
I like running the camera.
Yeah, taking cameras and photo pictures and digital pictures is what she primarily does a lot.
Video.
Yeah, just some video stuff.
Either one is fine. I like working the camera.
And just filming what we're doing, which, like you said, having a good camera person really, really does make a difference, because, yes, in the end, you're going to have a lot of footage you're going to have to edit, but a lot of it with nothing in it, you're probably not going to keep it all. You're only going to keep stuff right around an inherent event that happens, and then, there's already two people up here going over there. See, they own the couch. We're just borrowing it from them. Yeah, we had to get permission to use it. So.
Oh, wow.
But, like I said, I've had a couple of guys contact me about wanting to do some work with the group. And I said, well, when I've been asked people to come out that have had stuff happen up around your neck of the woods there, Terry, and other areas like that. Mm-hmm. I try to tell them what I can without having to go out there, some things they can do to maybe verify what they've got going on.
Right.
In some cases, they see shadow people walking through their house, cabinets opening and closing. They hear noises. Usually in a case like that, I would recommend the best thing to do is have a group do an investigation there. Something simple. It only takes one evening, a few hours on an evening. Start maybe setting up about 6, 7 o'clock. Go through there early before dark and walk around and check how much power, drains these guys have, that they have massive EMF running through the walls. Heavy EMF from power lines and other sources, tends to have psychological effects on people.
Yeah.
It can tend to make people be anxious, almost imagine that they're hearing or hearing things or seeing things that are not there. Um, and so, yeah, I like to do that because the place is a, you know, uh, uh, interference nightmare. I'm going to recommend turning all the power off.
Exactly. Hit
And
those
if that's going
breakers.
to be the case, recommend that the owners not be there, or they can stay there too if they want to watch. But we're going to have to shut everything off. We put all our phones on a table in the kitchen area or somewhere back away. We get our gear and we go out and we start, room by room, whatever's happened. And Terry's done this plenty of times, I'm sure. You find the hot spots where people have reported there's been activity, and you start
Yep.
there, and then you work your way out. Depending on how big the house is. Most
Yeah.
cases, we've only had a small house to do, and
And what's so weird? I mean, with me, it seemed like it always starts in the bedrooms.
Hmm.
yeah,
Always start, and I don't know why that is. Either is it because some knucklehead kid has done something they shouldn't be doing, which I think is probably 80% of the time. Ouija board, opening doors, not closing doors,
that
stuff like that.
is in 70% of the cases is exactly what's going on. I was working over here at Toys R Us before they closed down. I worked there for years. I was a security head of the security stuff inside the store. Me and another guy, and I was amazed how many people would come in there to buy Ouija boards. Where are the Ouija boards at though? What do you want it for? We think we have a spirit in our house, and we're going to use that to see if we can, try to get in touch with it. I said, let me explain something to you. For you, obviously, the uninitiated here. Using a Ouija board is like picking up an old-fashioned telephone and just start dialing a number randomly. What's going to happen? Somebody's going to pick up. You ain't going to know
Right?
who it is. You ain't going to have a clue who it is. Hey, is this Johnny? And it's some woman answers. That's what you're going to get with a Ouija board. The problem with that thing is sometimes the things that answer that are not human,
Exactly.
demonic entities. And once they get, I smell where this person's at, and you continue to use that, and they can identify your location and get to where you're at. No, but people say, but it's true that the Chinese invented this thing well before something like this way back. Yeah, and then after a certain amount of time, the Chinese stopped using it because
Yeah.
they realize that you don't know who you're talking to. Oh, they're going to lie to you. They're going to tell you, yeah, this is your brother Johnny. Yeah, it's me. Yeah.
Yeah, right?
What the hell are you doing at this house? Oh, well, if you're in your own house, that's fine. But, it's supposed to be, but you don't know that.
Exactly.
No, just, I want to get a t-shirt that shows a Ouija board and has a big, round circle with a slash through it. And that should pretty much give you the opinion on a Ouija board because.
Me personally, I'll stay away from them. People ask me, I tell them no. You know what? I'm like this. If I have somebody call me and they ask me, I need for you guys to come investigate my house, and I'm like, okay. But they also said, hey, I want to be able to use a Ouija board while you guys are here. The
I
first
wouldn't do
question
it.
the first question I'm going to have is why. The second question is, have you guys used this before? And number three is, when you guys use it, did you guys do what you need to do to close the door properly? And number four is, if the answer is no, we did not. The next question is,
Quiet. Sorry about that.
and the next question is, I say, hey, I can't help you. I'm not going to put my team in some kind of danger like that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I would never. I would never do that. Dave, you have personally used the Ouija board.
No, I've never owned one. A Ouija board.
Oh, no.
Not even as a kid. I mean, some of my friends had them. I can't say I never went over to their house and didn't really understand a lot about what it was. But I always kind of had a sense that I didn't want to monkey around with that stuff. So I guess maybe that was fortunate for me. Maybe not everybody, but yeah. Just say ixnay to the Ouija board. Don't do it. I mean, it's not a guarantee that every time something bad is going to happen, but you can't run the risk because
Right.
you open up potential, like you said, portals. You open up lines of communication to possibly some dark areas where you don't know what's there, what's going to come back.
And you know what kills me about people that do that? Well, we're doing it just because I'm trying to contact a family member. I want to say my long lost goodbyes. I didn't get a chance to say what I really want to say to him when, when he left. And I'll sit back and I laugh at that because if you want to do that, just go walk out to his grave.
Mhm.
That's all you have to do.
And take a digital or analog audio recorder with you.
You don't
If it's
have to
even
open up
possible, you get an
that.
answer.
Yeah, you don't have to open up a portal. Lord knows he'll. There's 98% or maybe higher. He's not even gonna be there. He's not gonna be the one that's gonna come through that door. You know what I'm saying? So why
There'll
take
be a taker
risk?
somewhere. There will be a taker. I guarantee you that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, there's always if you open up the door, it's like open up that door. It's like a big bright light. It's like mosquitoes or flies to that little light that comes, that little green light. All the bugs get attracted to, and they come and
Like
and I
running
think,
outside with a bag of money and screaming, "I got free money to give away."
boy,
People
yeah,
are going to
you know how
show
many
up.
people?
They're going to
Hundreds.
come right at you. And once they spread the word, that's it. They don't just come one by themselves. They'll bring friends.
Yeah,
And,
and you don't even have to bring friends, dude. Once it's so dark in there, and they see that light, they're gonna make a beeline. It's gonna go.
and once they punch through, they could create an opening that will stay open. That you're going to have to go through a lot of work and pain to get it to close, if you
There's
can close it.
a lot of nights where you're gonna be up. It's gonna be a lot of nights where you're just gonna be up doing all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, dude, I recommend
I
you
won't do
guys
it. Don't
do
worry.
not do it. Do not waste your time with
No,
it.
don't.
You know
Uh,
what I'm saying?
Listen to Terry. He knows what he's talking about. That is, I think, to me, quintessentially, that is the most negative thing you can use in the
Yeah,
circumstance. I mean, I
yeah,
understand the mechanics behind it. I do. And even when you use a spirit box or any other modes of supernatural communication, you're going to get a message. It's not so much you're looking, well, you may be trying to find who's there. And in some cases, if there are spirits there that are stuck there in a form of limbo because of something that happened either through their actions or lack of actions, you may get information that will give you a name or something, who's here. You're not asking for a specific person. They can make
right,
up a name if they want to lie to you, but what good will that make since you don't know who they are? And
right,
take that information. I'm trapped here. Oh, I like it here. My things or whatever it is they tell you, you can put together an assessment of what is really going on there. The spirit's hanging around because in life, all he cared about were material possessions. And now part of his purgatory payoff probably is he's got to hang around here and look at the stuff and not be able to do anything with it.
yep.
So we don't
Uh,
know.
yeah. RGV paranormal lockdown? No. The question is no. I will not participate. I don't know if they have experience. There's always that what if factor. What if something goes wrong? Would you want to take that? I wouldn't.
No,
So I don't care if somebody has freaking 30 million hours of experience of doing this, a lifetime of experience. There's always that what if.
there's some dramatic things that I've seen people do that, again, I wouldn't try them. But like, for example, on Portals to Hell, this woman worked at this museum and she'd had experiences. She knew there was paranormal activity, something supernatural was going on. The names of spirits that were supposedly living there because of things that had happened in the past. Well, they sent her to the basement. There was an old well down there that they filled up. They sat her in a chair. They blindfolded her eyes. They put ultra double protection, hearing protection on her ears, and they had her sit down there and just open her mind and see if anything said anything, or she recognized or started to see things. And she started revealing information that about some things that had happened there that later on they figured out occurred in that house. That was an old house from the Revolutionary time. And it had turned out that one of the guys that lived there in that house had a friend who was involved in the Revolutionary War. And she saw a flag with green and white on it and a pine tree. And she'd never seen it before. Well, that's what she said. And it's possible that could be total malarkey. But when they looked it up, that was one of the flags used by some of the people that were working with Paul Revere. That was the flag they had. So it was a valid piece of historical information that they got. And again, when you do this, though, you're opening your perceptions up with all that stuff on you. Your protection's gone. So you may have some psychic ability that you never knew about. It's going to start to come forward. And even someone who doesn't, they say that every degree, somebody has some psychic sensitivity to them. Just some people have more of it. And that can actually bring it out. Maybe you can get something useful. But you're going to be by yourself in a dark room. So you could also potentially shit your pants because you get so scared. So remember, if you're willing to try it, I don't know. I've never done that because I've never heard of people doing that. I might actually experiment with that now because I've had a little time on the saddle, so I'm not just jumping on the horse for the first time, never having ridden. But, again, you also could potentially open yourself up for an attack. Something could just jump right in you because now he's got no protection on. He can hear what I'm saying now. Oh, yeah. Hey, Dave, what's going on? And that's it. So, I don't know. I could be like a Ouija board too, so...
you've heard about RGV, that, right? RGV Paranormal. You know what something my grandma always told me: curiosity kills the cat. So if you guys, it's really up to you if you want to go down that road, but I'm not that curious.
Oh, RGV's Paranormal Lockdown. Okay, yeah, I saw their posts and stuff the other day, so...
I'm not that curious. I'm sorry, brothers. Hey, love you guys down there, but you guys gonna do that, man.
Down here.
Hey, I gotta go, man. I can't do it. Hey, well, when you guys do this, please make sure that you guys Facebook Live so I can see.
I'm gonna start doing that now. If I do one of those blind man bluff deals, I'll make sure the camera's on and,
Oh, definitely. I definitely want to see.
If I get up and run out of there screaming, you're going to go, well, maybe that's not such a darn good idea to do that. But anyway, what I would like to do, Terry, if I can, and I'll let you know if this is going to work. I'm going to contact my sources there at Padre Island down here and see if they're interested in possibly doing something like we did years ago. I'd have to contact a couple of other groups like Central Texas Paranormal. I still talk to her from time to time. Her father died. He was the one that really ran the show. But Pops. Yeah, Pops was really, he was hardcore. But she was pretty interested. She was, right behind him. So, you've got some good investigators up there, Ed Vera and a couple of these other guys that we work with. I'm sure they'd be interested in coming back down to see what we could organize with Port Isabel again. Not Padre Island, I'm sorry, Port Isabel. Also, the Brownsville Old City Cemetery. Again, it's been years since we've been down there, and I'm going to try to get in contact with some people, see if they're doing anything for Halloween this year where they do a tour and they want people to go out there and help. And then I'll let you know. If we're going to do the thing down at Port Isabel,
if
they want us to, I'll let you know. So maybe you can get some of your investigators might decide they want to drive down.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And take part in that because that is a very haunted town. It's fun, but it is definitely Civil War haunting. I will.
One thing about me, I'm always up for a road trip.
And who doesn't like?
And when you get in that lighthouse, you're gonna love it. I call that my lighthouse because that's the one that really gave me. Well, I got my big buddy in there who really likes me a lot, and I'm sure he wants me to come back. But especially the way he gave me such a pleasant welcome. People accused me of faking that.
Oh, really?
People came out and said that, you just did that yourself. There's no way you could catch an EVP that good. It's not possible, man. You're a liar. And she was standing right next to me when it happened. We didn't hear anything.
Hmm.
Um,
We'll have to figure that.
and it's on that EVP is available on the Facebook site, the Ghost Facebook. It's in there. It should say
Daisy.
Lighthouse. Also, if you can't find it, go to YouTube and put just do a search. Port Isabel Lighthouse EVP. It'll be one of the first one that comes up. It's
First
so
one?
loud you don't need to put headphones on.
Wow.
You don't need to. It will. Most of them they say put headphones on. This one you're going to hear it clear, like it's. There was another person right there. Well, there was. We just couldn't see him, and talking. So I'm like,
All right. Well, uh-oh. Well, you guys, it has been a pleasure talking to you guys. David, I really enjoyed talking to you, Michelle. I really enjoyed talking to you on the phone. And dude, we have to do this again. If you guys can set that up,
we'll come on anytime you guys want. You need to fill a gap and get some people in there. I get some more tech gear together so we can do a little more, show some of these potential greenhorners here who want to get started in this. And,
yeah, definitely. I wouldn't mind coming down and visiting that port. I mean, I think that would be pretty cool.
That lighthouse.
I think it would take me out of my element. I mean, I would love,
and then we can go down to that battleground out there. We'll do our little land navigating out there and make our way from the marker all the way to where it is, where the fighting actually happened. Supposedly, there's still not that long ago they went out there and dug up some Civil War pistols and some weapons from out there that were still out there.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, cool. You know what? Anytime, dude. Anytime when you guys set that up, we would love to come down and join you guys.
Well, here we go. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping, but again, the people running the show now, they're a little different. Some of the people have left, but hopefully they start to get this with all this takeoff of paranormal stuff on TV coming back, with the Travel Channel, all these other shows starting to come on. They're becoming highly popular. That's what drove it the last time. And now, because like Ghost Hunters are now back on Travel Channel again, a new team. You got Portals of Hell, of course, Ghost Adventures. People watch all this stuff, and they're like,
yeah.
But, it's not that hard to look into it. And if you feel you got the cut for it and if you think it's something you might want to do, then, get a little gear together. Like you said, start out with a cemetery. Get yourself an EVP recorder, an analog recorder, whatever, they'll all work, and go down to a cemetery where some of your relatives are buried down there, or maybe people, or maybe not even that, and walk around, politely, ask some questions, and I guarantee you're going to get one response at least. I've never gone to a cemetery and not captured some EVPs. Never.
Yeah. Okay, well, you know what? I'm pretty sure they love your advice. If you don't stop, go away.
Your cat?
Yeah.
They run the houses, you know that, man. We're just in there to pay the bills and everything.
Well, they need to get some jobs.
Yeah.
He goes, my job's eating and drinking water around here.
Yeah, you get some jobs. Quit scratching up my couch and all that stuff. Well, you know what, guys? It has been a pleasure, Dave, Michelle. I really appreciate you guys inviting me on. Now.
Oh, no, you for inviting us, because, you've got the established show. We've never been on any other than a Univision interview that we did, and it got pretty much washed out because she was out there just to butter herself up. And
well, either way, I appreciate you guys coming on. Now, as you guys know, or if you guys go on my Facebook page, I'm having a big podcast in August. And it's called the Texas Paranormal Four Corners Podcast, where I invite paranormal investigators from all across our state to come together and have one big podcast.
We're in.
Now, I'm going to put you guys.
You could already sign us up. We'll be there. I guarantee you. I will make time and write my schedule around whatever I got to do.
Well, there's so many, investigators down in your area. There will be a drawing
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, there would be a
that's fine.
drawing, and I'll put you guys. You guys are in the South region, so if you can get a hold of RGV, they were on it last time, and look, we had a blast. So I got my your little name right here, and I'm gonna throw you
Cool.
guys' name in the South
Cool.
region, and I really hope you guys get selected. The drawing is gonna be August 13th. The actual podcast would be August 20th.
Okay.
I usually do the drawing live, and it's pretty funny how I do it. If you guys want to go back and look at it, how I did it last time.
I will. I'll
But
go back and watch
yeah, it was
that
it
episode.
was pretty cool. But hey, I wish you guys luck. RGV, you guys was on it last time, uh, and I wish just because you was on it last time, your name get thrown back in there, so you might have a chance to come back on again. We had three outstanding paranormal investigators from East, South, West. You know, I think that was pretty, historic what we did. So I'm looking forward to doing it again. Yeah. So, hey guys, you guys have yourself a good night, and I'm gonna throw this in the South region. And like I said, hopefully you guys want, get opportunity to get on.
Cool.
Okay, Terry. Hopefully
All
we'll
right, you
get
guys.
a bit
Hey,
lucky there. Luck for the better.
hey, yeah. Hey, you guys, stay in contact with me, Dave.
Oh, I
Michelle,
will.
Definitely.
you
I
you
will.
got you have my number. Give
Yes.
me a call anytime. You guys.
Anytime I
Look
find
at.
another new tidbit of something that's really just check in, see how things are going up there. You're in the Austin area, right?
Well, I'm just north of Austin, just in the Cedar Park area.
Yeah, we love
Yeah.
that area up there. Love to go back up there again and
Well,
visit some of the
I'll tell you
restaurants in
what.
that town, man. Let me tell you.
Either way, you can come up here. We'll show you a good time, or we can come down there and you can show us a good time. Either way, I'm up to it. We got some pretty cool places
Even
to investigate up here, and I
the,
would love to get in that fort down
the
there.
Capitol building in Austin, haunted.
Oh man,
I caught even.
yeah.
I caught heavy. We were just walking around, me and my brother and her on vacation. I was just running a recorder. I can't get away from that stuff. It follows me no matter where I go. Caught some voices in there that were laughing. And we were by ourselves. There was no one around at the time when that happened. So I'm like, what? It seems I can't escape it, man.
Yeah, I mean, it might follow you. You never know. But okay, guys. Hey, you guys have a good night.
Y'all too.
Thank you, Terry.
Yeah, no problem. Michelle, give me a call when you guys get set up for that down there, or give Dave my number.
I'll
And
call you. I'm hoping they're going to want to play ball. But it's the new people. I'll see which way the wheels are rolling, and we'll find out. But
okay, cool. All right, guys. Hey, this is NSPS TV Paranormal Podcast, Sunday off. Hey, nice talking to you guys. And hey, I would love to hear from you guys again. In
thank
the
you, Terry.
meantime, peace. Good night, guys. All right. Man, that was a pretty interesting podcast. Man, I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot uh, about it, this podcast. Quit playing. That was Ghost Hunters of South Texas, David and Michelle. Pretty cool guys. Oh man, I would love to get down there and investigate that fort he was talking about. You know, but it's weird, man. I don't know. I see things flying around. I don't know what that is. You've probably seen it. But anyway, I am going to get off of here and go grab something to eat, guys. Hey, you guys enjoy the rest of your night, and I will see y'all next week. Next week, man, it's going to be a busy schedule. I got a couple of good paranormal investigators coming on. Fall paranormal. Uh, who else? Uh, there's a couple more I got coming on. So, in the meantime, peace.